Hey there, folks. It's me, your old pal, Officer Hank Schlitz, the Game Cop, coming to you over this internet thing we call YouTube to give you comics, knowledge, and music, and movies, and games, and MP3, and CD, and blog, and all that. And what are we talking about in regards to all those cool things right now? Well, we're talking about the world of comic books and what they're doing and teaching us all new fun things about these characters that we've known for so long. You might have heard about this on your internet news platforms, but I saw this when I was flipping through my latest edition of Action Comics starring Batman, the world's greatest detective, and I was just seeing what he was up to, analyzing plant data and getting into kung fu fights with women. And, I turned the page and my eyes nearly fell out of my skull, my mouth agape, drool falling down my pristine policeman blues, because I saw something on the page that I never expected to see, but now I'm very, very glad that I did. And that, my friends, is Batman's junk. Yes, he finally whipped it out, folks. At long last, Batman showed us what he's working with, and I'm really, really glad to know, because there's all sorts of things that you can tell about a man based off of his junk and vice versa. It's interrelation, a microcosm, macrocosm type thing. And, the little man shows what's going on with the big man, so on and so forth. And, it just answers some questions about what's going on with Batman's personality and whatnot. Like, I'm very glad to know that he's circumcised, and also that, he's working with a pretty sizable hog, but it's not unreasonable. It's above average. It's not something that, it doesn't look dangerous, but it also doesn't look like something you'd be ashamed of. And it's nice to know that Batman out there being to, represent the extremes of what the average man is capable of if you just have enough grit and determination and money, that you can have a above average sized penis as well. And that's a nice thing to know about Batman. And it got me thinking. I was like, wouldn't it be great if there were other superhero friends who could show us the genitals so that we can have a deeper understanding of who they are? And so I compiled a list to that effect. This is Hank Schlitz top 5 superhero friends that should whip it out, because we got to know what's going on with them downstairs so we can know them inside, because that's how it works. Batman revealed to us the truth of what's going on inside him through showing us the absolute depth of what's going on outside, showing us the whole kit and caboodle. And I think these other superheroes would really benefit us if they did the same thing too. So what's number one? Number one on my list of Hank Schlitz superheroes that should whip it out for us and give us a gander is Captain America. Yes, Captain America, the Patriot. That's the word I was looking for. He's he got his powers by being a skinny, scrawny, useless piss of a man, and then the government injected him with a bunch of Nazi science to turn him into a Adonis and an Aryan Superman. And isn't that wonderful? But we only get to see what's going on with his pecs and his biceps and his triceps. We don't get to see what's going on with the most important muscle, the dick muscle. And I would assume that Captain America's penis gets as enlarged and engorged and swollen as the rest of his body. But I can't say for sure, because the people at Marvel Studios decided I didn't need to know that. Well, I'm telling you right now, I do, okay? Captain America, please, 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 in the next Avengers or whatever, Civil War, whatever movie you're in, just give us it doesn't need to be like, just a whole, I don't need to see every wrinkle in your penis, okay? It could take a note from the Batman comic. It was in silhouette. It's tasteful, okay? Do it like that, just a peek, so I can see, how his penis was affected in the superfication process, because that's something that's really been burning in my mind for a long, long time. Okay, so that's it. Captain America, number 1. Number 2, James Bond. Now, you might be saying, oh, James Bond's not a superhero. Oh, fuck you for saying that. He definitely is. Just watch his movies and see what he does, and you could see that James Bond would deserve to have a place on the Avengers roster much more than Hawkeye or Secret Agent Woman or Spice Lad or all the other cool guys that are on there. And, James Bond, his sexual prowess is legendary. Like, it's one of the main things about his character, and yet, we don't know anything about what's going on with this junk. And I think that is just a travesty, you know? It would really help us understand what's so alluring about James Bond beyond his great personality and the wonderful way he treats women. Like, it's, you know, there's got to be some, like, magical thing going on down there, and I don't know what it is. I've speculated on it. I've written a lot about it in other forums about, you know, hey, what's going on with James Bond's dick? Do you think it's just like a perfect human penis? Or is it like, is he like Jude Law and AI and he's got some sort of crazy robot machine down there? I don't know, does he get some kind of like blessing from a god and it's like sparkly and can shoot lasers? I don't think anything's off the table when you see what James Bond is able to accomplish in the world of espionage through the power of sex. I mean, I would imagine that spies are pretty serious people that dedicate their whole lives to the, safety of their nation. But James Bond can undo that very quickly with his penis. And I frankly need to see what's going on down there so I can, just make a connection, because otherwise I just lay awake at night tossing and turning saying, oh my God, what's going on down in James Bond's penis? I have to know. So James Bond is the second superhero that I would love to see whip it out, and every time there's a new guy playing James Bond, we gotta have them whip it out too, just so we can have, for continuity's sake. He's a different James Bond, but it's the same old dick, and so it's James Bond. All right, number three for the list of superheroes that should get their junk taken out and show it everybody is Galactus. Yeah. He's a big old guy, isn't he? He's big as a solar system. And I'm assuming he looks like a person in every other way. I'm assuming he's got a giant penis, but it's like just the scale of it would be incredible. Like if it's a tiny dick, it would be like the size of a solar system. But if it's a big dick, it's the size of a galaxy. And I just want to know for my own 2 cents for planetary scale, so I can know how many Earths would it take to make a Galactus penis. That's something that I've thought about a lot, and I don't have the statistics necessary to know exactly what the anatomical relationship of Galactus is. I'm assuming he's proportionate because it looks like he is. And so you can infer from there, but I don't like to just speculate. I like to know for sure. I speculated for years about what Batman's penis looked like, and I was very wrong. I always took him for an uncircumcised man. He always had that sort of European air about him, but, egg on my face. And I don't want to make the same mistake with Galactus, okay? I want to know for sure, and I don't like speculating in my mind on these matters. So, Galactus, whip it out, please, for the love of God. Now, number four on my list of superheroes that should get that junk taken out is Aquaman. Yes, of course it's Aquaman, because he's some kind of fish man, no? What's going on down there? I don't know if you read about this lately, but fish reproduce in a pretty weird way. They don't stick their pinky in the stinky like I and all my male friends do. No. Fish have a different way of doing it. Their penis is more like a broken fire hydrant that just kind of sprays all over the place and just kind of hopes it soaks in the eggs. And I'm assuming that Aquaman has a similar kind of situation going on, that it's not so much like a extending erection kind of action that's going on. It's more like a flap that opens and all the goo just kind of shoots out. And I'd really like to see that. I think that would really help me understand Aquaman and where he's coming from. If I could just see him pull down his pants and spray his goo all over the place, and then the Flash will be like, well, I was wondering what that was for a while. And I'll be like, I was right there with you, buddy. I wanted to know what was going on with Aquaman too, and if he could reproduce with a human woman. And I'm pretty sure he can't, but jury's still out until DC gets the courage to show us what Aquaman is working with. And number 5, last list on Hank Schlitt's top 5 superheroes that should show us their penis so we can all go to sleep at night is Dracula. Yeah, you know it was coming. The king of the vampires. Who else it was going to be? Now, Dracula, he's got all sorts of powers. He can make you see ghosts and turn into a werewolf and into some sort of gas and all sorts of cool stuff. But we don't know what actually happens once he seduces the lady. The jury's always been out. He's like technically a dead guy, right? So maybe there's nothing going on down there. But he's also super sexy Lothario #1. So you would have to think that, of course, he's got a working penis. Like that's the main thing that men have going for them, is a working penis. Otherwise, they might as well just jump off a cliff. And I want to know. I gotta know what the King of the Vampires is doing down there. Like, does he need to feed, and then he's engorged with enough blood that he can perform the sexual act, or does that make no difference? Is the blood like just going straight to his heart? Like, I need to know how the blood is being used. Is the blood being used to fuel the penis? These are all open questions that, even though Dracula has existed for thousands and thousands of years, we've never ever seen him actually perform the graphic intercourse. They've just seen him loom over a lady and be like, oh, I'm about to do something, but then it just cuts to black. We need to movie people, have the courage to not cut the camera. You have to keep rolling and zoom in more so we can see his erect or flaccid, depending on what the truth is, penis go into his woman. And then I will know all the truth. And that's what I want to know. This is all about the truth. Batman was brave enough. The people who write Batman were brave enough to teach us the truth about Batman, let us into his world in a very intimate, very personal, very special way. And I would love that if just other superheroes had the courage to, let us in and not be so defensive and let us see a penis, because that's what's hip right now. I'm Hank Schlitz, the Game Cop. This has been my list of 5 superheroes who should whip out they dick. And I expect to see it soon. And I'll see you soon for another fun-filled list of tips and fun and things I think. Goodbye, Game Cop. Bye-bye, Game Cop.